questions on your screen. So I have written the questions here. Let's read the problem number 10. Ashish, Brijesh, Chetan and Dinesh are partners sharing profits in the ratio of 2:1:2:1. Right? On the retirement of Chetan, Goodwill was valued at rupees 1,44,000. Ashish, Brijesh and Dinesh decided to share future profits equally. You are required to make adjustment entries for Goodwill without opening Goodwill account. Okay, fine then. Let's make the entries for problem number 10. See, very first we need to calculate the gearing ratio. Okay, how? I'll just show you. See, who is retiring? Chetan is retiring, right? This one. Okay. So we have Ashish, Brijesh and Dinesh. What will be the new ratio? The new ratio will be equally. Equally means 1/3, 1/3 and 1/3. Okay. And we need to deduct old ratio. What was the old ratio? 2/6, 1/6 and 1/6. Right? Let's calculate. This is 1/3 and this is also 1/3. 2/6 means 1/3. Fine. So it will be nil here. And now we're out of 1/3 we deduct 1/6, then we get 1/6 and same 1/6 we get here. If we see the gearing ratio of both these, then we get 1:1 between Brijesh and Dinesh. Okay. And what is the share of Goodwill? 1,44,000 is the total value of the Goodwill. We'll have to see the retiring partner share. Okay, that is 2/6. That is 48,000. Right? So this 48,000 will be divided in two parts, 1/2 and 1/2. That is 24,000 each. That will go to Brijesh and that will go to Dinesh. Means that will be borne by Brijesh and that will be borne by Dinesh. Okay. Now let's pass the entry. Like I told you, in the very first case, gaining partners capital account debit. Who are gaining? These two. Two, retiring partner or deceased partner, or we can say sacrificing partner. Okay, so that is Chetan. Right? Being amount of Goodwill compensated by continuing partners in gaining ratio. Okay. Chetan's capital account credit 48,000, Brijesh and Dinesh capital account debit 24,000 each. Okay. Ashish has got nothing to do with this because neither he is gaining nor he is sacrificing. Understood the point? Now let's move on to problem number 11. Let's read it. Ashish, Brijesh and Chetan are partners sharing profits in the ratio of 3:2:1. Chetan retires from the firm on 1st April 2020, on which date Goodwill of the firm was valued at rupees 2,40,000. Okay, so their ratio is 3:2:1. Okay, and Goodwill is 2,40,000. Pass the necessary journal entries giving effect to Goodwill on Chetan's retirement, raising Goodwill at its current value. Okay, so this is what the second case I discussed with you. Very first we'll have to raise the Goodwill account and then we'll have to write it off. However, the question says to write it off or not, we'll have to do it. Okay, because AS 26 is applied in that case. Fine. So let's make it fast. So very first we will raise the Goodwill account. The entry will be Goodwill account debit to all the partners. Okay, what is the amount of Goodwill? 2,40,000. Alright, being Goodwill raised with its full value in old ratio. Okay, Goodwill account debit to Ashish capital, Brijesh capital, Chetan's capital, means all the partners capital account will be calculated. Okay, in old profit sharing ratio, this is 3:1. So this 2,40,000 will be divided in three parts. 3/6, 2/6 and 1/6. Okay, 80,000, 1,20,000, 80,000 and 40,000. That will go to Ashish, that will go to Brijesh and that will go to Chetan. Okay, so let's make entry here. Alright, so this is the entry for raising the Goodwill account. Like I told you, in this case two entries will be passed, one for raising, another for writing off. Now we pass the entry for writing off. So this Goodwill account is supposed to be credited. So to Goodwill account, the value is 2,40,000. Now remember what I told you. I just told you that continuing partner, not the gaining partner. Alright, so we need to see that how many partners are continuing. Okay, only Chetan is retiring here. So these two, Ashish and Brijesh, both are continuing. So we'll debit them. Nothing we'll have to do. We'll have to divide this amount in new profit sharing ratio. And what is the new profit sharing ratio? We'll have to see in the question whether it is given or not. It is not given in the question. So in that case, what will be the new ratio? This will be separated, and this 3:2 will be the new ratio of Ashish and Brijesh. So we'll divide this 2,40,000 in two parts, 3/5 and 2/5. That will go to Ashish and that will go to Brijesh. Let's calculate it. So it comes out 1,44,000 and it comes out 96,000. Right, you can calculate, divide by 5. I'll just write down here as well. Okay, so that was the second case. Okay, when goodwill account is raised with its full value and written off immediately. So this is the entry for raising and this is the entry for writing off. Right, now let's move on to question number 12. Ashish, Brijesh and Chetan are partners sharing profits in the ratio of 3:2:1. Chetan retired from 1st April 2020, on which day goodwill of the firm was valued at rupees 2,40,000. Pass the journal entry raising goodwill for retiring partner share in current value of goodwill, giving effect to its on Chetan's retirement. Okay, so it's written here raising goodwill for retiring partner share. So this is what the third case. Very first we'll have to raise the goodwill account, but with the share of retiring partner, we'll have to calculate the retiring partner share from this, and then we'll pass the entry and then it will be written off. Okay, so I just pass the entry here. So let's start solving the problem number 12. So very first we'll calculate the share of retiring partners in this amount, 2,40,000. Okay, so what is the share? Chetan is third one, 1/6, that is 40,000. Right? Now we'll raise the goodwill account with this amount. The entry will be goodwill account debit to Chetan's capital account, being goodwill raised with Chetan's share. Right? Now we'll pass the second entry for writing off, and for that I have already told you what will be debited. Only gaining partner's capital account will be debited. Okay, and goodwill account will be credited. So for that we'll have to calculate that who is gaining. Okay, so Chetan is retiring, then who are left? Ashish and Brijesh. And what will be the new ratio? Let's see the question. The question does not specify any new ratio, right? So in that case, that will be the new ratio, 3:2, means 3/5 and 2/5. And what is their old ratio? The old ratio was there 3/6 and 2/6. Okay, now let's calculate it. It will come 3:2. Already I have told you this concept. When no specification is given further, then gaining and new ratio is same, right? So it is the same one. Okay, now this 40,000 will be divided into two parts, 3/5 and 2/5. Okay, 3/5, 24,000, that will go to Ashish, and 16,000 that will go to Brijesh. So we'll pass the entry here. Okay, so have a look here. Ashish capital account debit 24,000, Brijesh capital account debit 16,000, to goodwill account 40,000. This was raised and this was written off, right? Only difference is here. Here it was raised and credited to retiring partners capital account, and here it is debited to gaining partners capital account, being goodwill account written off in gaining ratio. Alright, so here we have covered three of the situation. Now we are moving towards the situation when goodwill already appears in the books of account. So how the things are going to be tackled here, and furthermore other problems we are going to discuss. You can see all the problems on your screen. So I have written the question here. Let's read the problem number 13. Ashish, Brijesh and Chetan are partners sharing profits in the ratio of 2:3:5, right? Goodwill is appearing in their books at a value of rupees 1 lakh. It is already appearing. Ashish retires, and on the day of Ashish's retirement, goodwill is valued at rupees 90,000. That is at the time of retirement, right? So we'll have to pass two entries, one for the old goodwill and another for this goodwill. Brajesh and Chetan decided to share the future profits equally. New ratio is also given. Pass necessary journal entries, right? So very first we'll pass entry for the old goodwill. We'll have to write it off. Okay. So as it is already there in the books, so now it will be credited. And what will be debited? All the partners, including the retiring one, right? So here, so the entry will be Ashish capital account debit, Brajesh capital account debit, Chetan's capital account debit, 2 goodwill account. And what is the amount here? 1 lakh. And this 1 lakh will be divided in the old profit sharing ratio 2:3:5. Means 20,000, 30,000 and 50,000 being old goodwill written off in old ratio. Fine, this is done. Okay, so whenever new goodwill exists, we'll have to do the same treatment. Now let's move on to this goodwill. This again has become the case number 1. Okay, as I told you, by default this will be applied. So very first we need to calculate the gaining ratio. So Brajesh and Chetan are remaining partners. So what is their new ratio? Equal. And what was their old ratio? Brajesh and Chetan means 3/10 and 5/10. Right? Now let's calculate. Only one partner is gaining, that is Brajesh. Okay, 2/10. So only he will compensate to who is going? Ashish. Fine. And what is the amount of goodwill? 90,000. We'll have to calculate the share of Ashish here. Ashish share was 2/10. 18,000. So this 18,000 will be compensated by Brajesh to Ashish. Right. So we'll pass the entry here. Because here Chetan is neither losing nor gaining. Being amount of goodwill compensated by Brajesh to Ashish. Okay, because here gaining partner and sacrificing partner. The case number 1. Fine. So according to this treatment will be done. We'll have to remember about this. This is the similar one. We did that in chapter 4 as well as in chapter 5, and here in chapter 6 also it is repeated in the same manner. Fine. Now let's move to problem number 14. Ashish, Brajesh and Chetan are partners sharing profits in the ratio 1:2:3. Chetan retires and his capital after making adjustment for reserves and profit on revaluation stands at rupees 4,40,000. Okay, so that is what the adjusted capital of Chetan. Ashish and Brajesh agreed to pay him rupees 5 lakh. See, his total amount due on the firm is 4,40,000. Even then, they both are agreeing to give him 5 lakh in full settlement of his claim. Record necessary journal entries for the treatment of goodwill if the new profit sharing ratio is decided at 1:3. Fine. Okay, so from here we will come to know that they are paying 5 lakh, however the amount is 4,40,000. So this 60,000, the difference amount, will be known as hidden goodwill, right? So again, this will be turned into the case number 1 for us, because this is the by default situation. So let's move on. So we'll have to calculate that again, gaining ratio. So here Chetan is retiring. So Ashish and Brajesh are remaining. What is the new ratio? 1/4 and 3/4. And what is their old ratio? Old ratio is 1/6 and 2/6. Let's calculate it. So it comes out 1:5. That will be their gaining ratio. Okay, now we'll calculate the share in the goodwill. So 60,000 is the share, and what is their share? 1/6 and 5/6. 1/6 will be won by Ashish and 5/6 by Brajesh. So let's calculate. That is 10,000 and that is 50,000. So we'll have to pass the entry like gaining partner's capital account debit to retiring partner. That's all simple. So they both are gaining. Okay, Ashish capital account debit 10,000, Brajesh capital account debit 50,000 to Chetan's capital 60,000, being amount of goodwill compensated to Chetan by Ashish and Brajesh in gaining ratio. Right? Once again, I tell you, here the concept was there of the hidden goodwill. We just inferred that goodwill, that was 60,000, and then the question became like case number 1. Okay, because this is the by default situation. Alright. So friends, it was all about the treatment of goodwill on the retirement or death of a partner. Very soon I am going to meet you in the another video, taking the concept further. Till then, thank you. Bye-bye.